On the news, abducted Ondo Varsity lecturer found dead in Edo State. 320 Nigerians set to return from South Africa on Wednesday. And 16 killed in Iraq's Ashura procession. Hello and welcome to News Now. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Abducted lecturer from the Ondo State University of Science and Technology, Gideon Okedayo, has been found dead. His death was announced by Chairman, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, of the institution, Temidayo Temola. He said the police informed the school authorities of the development on Monday night. Okedayo was kidnapped along the Auchi Road in Edo State on Thursday while traveling to Kogi State. The police then launched a manhunt for the abductors and in the process found his remains near a bush along Auchi Road. Residents of Kokoki village in Shiroro local government area of Niger State have been forced to flee their homes following an attack by armed bandits. The attackers, numbering over 200, reportedly invaded the village in broad daylight on Monday, shooting sporadically into the air. Director General of the state's Emergency Management Agency confirmed the incident, saying the bandits subjected some of the villagers to torture and severe beating. NEMA, however, revealed that no casualty has been reported from the incident, whose victims were mostly women and children. The first batch of Nigerian returnees from South Africa would depart for Lagos on Wednesday. This is according to Consul General of Nigeria in Johannesburg, Godwin Adama, in an interview on Tuesday, said the returnees would comprise 320 people. They are expected to depart South Africa by 9 a.m. on Wednesday. President Muhammadu Buhari had on Monday called for the immediate evacuation of Nigerians willing to return home from South Africa following the latest attacks on Nigerians and other nationals in the country. The Presidential Election Tribunal says it will deliver judgment in the petition filed by candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, on Wednesday, September 11, 2019. All the parties in the suit had made their final submissions on August 21st, when the tribunal declared that the date for the judgment will be communicated at a later day. The PDP and its candidates are seeking to nullify the election of President Muhammadu Buhari in the February 23rd poll. They are insisting the poll was marred by irregularities and are asking the tribunal to declare Atiku the duly elected president. The Federal High Court in Lagos has ordered the permanent forfeiture of 2,149 pieces of jewelry and a customized gold iPhone valued at $40 million to the federal government. The items were recovered from the Abuja home of a former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Desiani Alison Madueke. In a ruling on Tuesday, Justice Nicholas Owebo held that Desiani, through her lawyer, Awa Kalu SAN, failed to show why the items should not be permanently forfeited to the federal government. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had told the judge that the jewelry and iPhone were reasonably suspected to be proceeds of fraud and were beyond Desiani's legitimate earnings. Nigeria currently has an out-of-school children population of over 10.5 million, specifically within the ages of 5 to 14. A good percentage of this number is from the northern part of the country, with many of them displaced as a result of conflicts ravaging the area. Stakeholders in the education sector are now appealing to northern governors to implement the School-Based Management Committee initiative as a tool to reverse the downward trend of school enrollment in the region. This next report has more.
According to data released by United Nations, 1 in every 5 of the world's out-of-school children is in Nigeria. Even though primary education is officially free and compulsory, the northern part of the country, which is the most affected, has net attendance rate of 53%. In view of this, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, in partnership with the Department for International Development and other stakeholders, have come up with various policy drives to address the issue.
UNICEF has been very active, right from influencing the government to accept the SBMCs, and also in terms of developing a national policy on SBMC, national framework, national policy, and a national training manual. So we have supported in the establishment of SBMCs across states. I've also supported in ensuring that they are functional, not only in terms of monitoring them, and not only in terms of training, but we have provided a series of mentor and monitor support so that they can sustain the health practices they are doing. Apart from that, with support of our donor, especially like GFID, this Girls Education Project, we have provided grant, school improvement grant to many schools. In Kano alone, 420 IQS are going to benefit, and then 300 primary schools are benefiting from the grant. And the same thing as I said, like in Kano, in Katsina, for instance, and over 400 schools have benefited from the SBMC grant.
Experts say the situation can be addressed if northern governors pay proper attention to the out-of-school syndrome in their respective states.
The SBMC can advocate to the governors that this is what we want our schools to be, and you are responsible for that. Because by law, basic education is a basic right, and by law, it is free and compulsory. So for the government to wait for somebody to come and do the work for it, it is not doing what it's supposed to do.
Funding also remains a major challenge, as most of the available learning facilities in schools across northern Nigeria have become dilapidated.
Before, nobody cares about public schools within the community. Once you saw a school within your community, you feel that it's government property. But today, the community has realized that the schools within the community belongs to them, not government. So this is a great achievement made by SBMCs. Now, if there are some dilapidation in the structures, communities used to come together and renovate the structure so that their children can have space to learn. So these are part of the achievement SBMCs achieved in Kano, and then beside that also support from all purposes. There are a lot of campaign by SBMCs for all purposes and other communities and philanthropists within the communities, I mean the stakeholders within the communities, to realize that government alone cannot do it. So there is need for each and every one of us to support the schools within the community we are living.
In 2005, the National Council on Education recommended the establishment of the School-Based Management Committees initiative. The scheme, especially in northern Nigeria, uses a unique approach of involving traditional, religious, and other community dwellers in running the schools, thereby making education more effective. Oyin Adekunle, TV360, Abuja.
International rights group Human Rights Watch is calling for a mutual understanding with the Nigerian military. Executive Director, African Division, Mausi Shegun, said this at the launch of a 50-page report. The group is extending the olive branch hours after it published a report which accused the Nigerian military of arbitrarily detaining and abusing thousands of children for alleged terrorism.
In 2013, I carried out a similar research, and the result is almost exactly what we're finding again today in 2019. It means that little has changed. This is what we do. Where we find that the authorities have not responded to change the situation, we will continue to highlight, to spotlight the abuses, and use that as a tool to engage with them to change. So we are open to engage. And we're also asking them to investigate. Don't take our word for it. We have given you our report. We have done our research. We have the people that we interviewed. We don't make these things up. And so go back to the field. We're asking the authorities, go back to the field, investigate whether our report is credible. It doesn't help anyone to just, issue a blanket statement denying or discrediting. It is Nigerian children that are at stake here. For the Nigerian army, instead of bringing up this, in fact, people are talking when we are making these reports are being made, specific time frames were mentioned. So, and you know who are responsible at that period when those crimes or atrocities were committed. Why can't you call them to book? Some of these children will even tell you the nicknames of certain commanders or certain soldiers they see in during their years of stay in those barracks. It is this kind of actions that we want to see rather than say it will dampen their morale. So we allow things to just degenerate and then maybe stain the people who are now committed to doing the right thing because others have done wrong things before and we shouldn't bring it up. No, that is not.
Shiite Organization Islamic Movement in Nigeria, IMN, says 12 of its members have been killed in a nationwide crackdown on Tuesday. The group's spokesperson, Ibrahim Musa, in a statement on Tuesday, said the killings took place when Shiites embarked on their annual religious rite Ashura in Kaduna, Bauchi, Sokoto, and Katsina states. The statement, however, said similar processions in Abuja, Jos, Kebbi, Minna, Lafia, Yola, Gusau, Zaria, Kanu, Jalingo, Damaturu, Hadejia, and Potiskum ended peacefully. The police had warned on Tuesday that it would treat the planned procession as a gathering in advance of terrorism, but the procession held regardless. The force has, however, denied claims that it killed members of the IMN and has urged Nigerians to remain calm amid the allegations. Well, reactions have begun to trail reports that the 9th Assembly plans to spend 5.5 billion naira to purchase vehicles for its members. Civil rights group Activists for Good Governance has kicked against the move, warning lawmakers that such bogus spending can incite civil disobedience among the masses. This next report has details. Burning in this box are items representing the jumbo pay of Nigerian National Assembly lawmakers set ablaze by Activists for Good Governance. The group is demanding a downward review of the earnings of public office holders in the country, starting from the legislators. It is then followed by a press conference where the group gives reasons for their actions.
The 9th National Assembly members receiving 4.68 billion welcome package is worrisome, as facts on ground shows that the 9th Assembly is majorly occupied by the change mantras. Hence, there should have been a drastic change from the usual way of doing things. The tyrannical acceptance by the National Assembly members of the bogus take-home salary they receive at the expense of the loss of Nigerians have earned them the coded name legislators.
Another member of the group shares some findings on the earnings of public office holders while condemning the growing rate of poverty in Nigeria.
They are even collecting active allowance. That is 50% of their basic salary, 1,242,122. They are also collecting newspaper allowance of their 500% of their basic salary. That is 1,240,122 naira. That is how much they are collecting. Now, what we are now saying is that in a country where the government cannot pay 30,000 naira a month to a civil servant.
The group also urged religious leaders and activists to get involved in the movement and educate public office holders under their wing on the need to put public interest before personal ones.
Pastors, imams, God is watching you guys. You need to tell them the truth, the bitter truth, that they have done what they have done, more evil to this nation. And that's the bitter truth. We must learn from the Arab Spring. And I tell you, I have made up my mind to lead the true revolution against the cabals.
Over the years, concerns have trailed the true earnings of lawmakers at the National Assembly. In June, Senate President Ahmed Lawan pegged lawmakers' salaries at 750,000 naira monthly, but the revelation did very little to answer the question of other allowances accrued by legislators. Fidelia Aguncha, TV360, Lagos. The Nigerian Red Cross has reaffirmed its commitment to providing humanitarian support to internally displaced persons in the country. The group, at a conference in Abuja, the nation's capital, said it had taken concrete steps to ensure shelter, sanitation, and other services of reuniting families are provided to IDPs. They also revealed that the group is engaging the Nigerian armed forces to ensure respect for humanitarian laws.
Our strong willingness to continue the work we have done in the past for people suffering from the impact of violence in the country, and to support the internally displaced, those uprooted, with humanitarian services. I have seen myself what we are doing today in terms of health and shelter and water and sanitation and other services, but also in terms of reuniting families and engaging with the armed forces in Nigeria and the detaining authorities in Nigeria for the respect of international humanitarian law, which is the core of our mandate. We appreciate our work together with the Nigerian Red Cross Society, whose volunteers and officials in many places are our first and foremost partners and work at the front line of humanitarian delivery.
Our news now will continue in just a moment. Don't go away.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Let's now talk business. Annetta Felix is standing by with details. The floor is yours, Annetta.
Thanks for that, Fidelia. In 2 weeks, the federal government will begin deducting the 614 billion naira budget support facility it gave to 35 states. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said this at the Public Consultation Forum on the draft 2020 to 2022 medium-term expenditure framework in Abuja on Tuesday. In 2017, the federal government gave the conditional budget support facility to the states through the Central Bank of Nigeria to enable them meet their financial obligations to civil servants and pensioners. The money was provided at a 9% interest rate with a grace period of 2 years. But state governors have been allegedly lobbying to defray the repayment of the loan. Ahmed said the repayment will be taken from the affected states' allocations during the next Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting coming up in a fortnight. She said the refund is not going to be treated as revenue, but to be used to fund the 2020 budget. Oil futures rose on Tuesday, potentially heading for a 5th day of gains amid optimism that OPEC and other countries may agree to extend production cuts in a bid to support prices. Brent was up 42 cents at $63.01 a barrel, while U.S. crude was up 46 cents higher at $58.31 a barrel. U.S. oil gained more than 2% on Monday, while Brent finished the day 1.7% higher. Executives at the annual Asia Pacific Petroleum Conference said on Monday they expect oil prices this year to be pressured by uncertainties around the global economy, the U.S.-China trade war, and increasing U.S. supplies. Now, after this break, will be a review of stock market activities for today. Do stay with us. The downward arrow, the red color, says it all there is to say about today's trading activities. Investor sentiment remained negative for a second market day, and the all-share index dipped by minus 0.16%, and that's to close at 27.047.56 basis points, and the market cap today turned in at over 13 trillion naira. Now, we see that the top losers today are Nestle and Cement Company of Northern Nigeria. Nestle Nigeria PLC has been losing for several days now. We see that it lost so much that, of course, it's still the top loser for the second market day today. Of course, it closed yesterday at 1,136 naira, but of course, lost for the close at 1,880 naira per share today. Cement Company of Northern Nigeria also losing as well, and Dangote Cement and Forte Oil are also making the list of the top losers, and the equities dragging down the indexes on the NSE today. On the other hand, we see that Dangote Flour, MTN Nigeria, Guarantee Trust Bank, and First Bank of Nigeria Holdings are making gains today. First Bank of Nigeria impressively made gains of 5 naira per share today. And taking a look at the market summary, we see that it's fairly a good day compared to yesterday's trading activities. Over 300 million shares sold, valued at over 4 billion naira in a total of 4,629 deals. And in the foreign scene, it's good news for all the markets. FTSE, Dow Jones, and the Nikkei are closing higher. We see that in FTSE, the market was off to a very slow start, but towards the end of the market day, of course, share prices picked up, investor sentiments became positive, the pound was heading further, and we see a wrap-up of 0.44% on the positive, as well as in the Dow Jones and in the Nikkei. And that's all from here, Fidelia.
Thank you so much, Annetta, for that review. We'll now turn to the foreign scene, where at least 16 Shia pilgrims have been killed, with about 75 others wounded in a stampede at a major shrine in the Iraqi city of Karbala as they were marking the holiday of Ashura. Worshippers dressed in black clothes had made their way to the gold-domed shrine in Karbala, carrying black flags with the name of Hussein, Prophet Muhammad's son, written in red. The stampede began when part of a walkway collapsed during the procession, causing mass panic. Spokesperson of Iraqi Health Ministry, Saif al-Badr, released the casualty toll, stressing that it is likely to rise. Thousands of Shia pilgrims flood Karbala in Iraq every year to commemorate Ashura, the death of Hussein, with rallies and prayers. And in sports, it's a good day for football fans as EA Sports releases its full player rating for FIFA 20's Top 100. Topping the chart is Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Last year, both players shared the top spot with 94 out of 100 points, but this time Ronaldo dropped 1 point to 93, while Messi's score of 94 remained unchanged. Neymar had a total of 92 points, clinching the third spot, while Eden Hazard came in fourth with 91 points, and Virgil van Dijk moved up 5 spots to clinch the fifth position. Meanwhile, Nigerians have been reacting to the top 10 players on the list, evaluating their performance in the past season. Take a listen.
Van Dijk, one splendid guy that I wasn't expecting to come up, is now I think fourth or third on the table. The guy has really done marvelously well, taking Liverpool to Champions League. He was one of the highest paid players in the English Premiership too. and he has really done too well. I think the top list is okay. It's okay. But I still give it to Ronaldo.
I think it's a good compilation. And from the top 10, I think all the guys on the top 10 deserve to be there. The only reservation I think I have concerning the top 10 is the person of Neymar on the list, because except they are doing it based on club form, I think Neymar shouldn't come close.
I do agree with the list. If you look at the top 10 exactly, Hazard being in it, Neymar being in it, in that list, Mbappe and the rest. So I think FIFA got it right. Unfortunately, there's no Nigerian player in there, and it shows how bad or the poor state of our football. It's a bit of a concern again, because most of our players are not looking to be at that top level.
And that's the size of our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.